What happens after thousands of rounds are fired in military training or combat? Most people never think about it. But behind every pile of spent cartridges, the U.S. military runs a quiet program that's quietly turning waste into strength. This isn't just cost-cutting, it's strategy. And believe it or not, discarded ammunition can generate tens of thousands of dollars and directly support combat readiness. This is the story of how tiny scraps of metal play a massive role in shaping the future of the modern military. Each year, approximately 225,000 rounds of spent ammunition are turned into ammunition facilities, not including additional contributions from local military units participating in the recycling program. This initiative converts brass and other leftover metals into cash that directly benefits the units involved. Spent cartridges are returned to the ammo depot, stacked on pallets, and then sorted into two main categories: blank rounds and frangible ball ammunition. From there, they're moved to a sorting table, where workers carefully remove ammo links, debris, and, most importantly, any remaining live rounds. Live rounds are not discarded, but are returned to inventory so they can be reused in training. It's not just brass that's collected. Steel and other metals are also recovered and repurposed, forming a key part of the military's efficient recycling infrastructure.
Basically, what we have here is steel links. Whenever a unit comes in, they usually bring it in their wooden boxes or a metal can. And basically we sort through it to make sure there's no brass or no live ammo in it. And then we put it in this big old hopper. Just steel goes in here, nothing else. And then when it gets full like this, we'll get a forklift and we take it down to the metal dump.
Once sorted, the steel and other metals are collected in bulk and transported to specialized recycling facilities. It's here that military training waste is transformed into valuable raw material that can be resold or reused by the government. This process doesn't just reduce waste, it also saves the Department of Defense millions of dollars each year. The program is managed by DLA Disposition Services, a branch of the Department of Defense responsible for handling excess military equipment and materials. With a precise system and trained personnel, every spent casing, every metal fragment, even the steel links from belts of ammo, all of it is accounted for, processed, and given new purpose in the military's sustainable logistics cycle.
2017, 2018, that's when the idea started. Munitions initiated the thought, and they were big proponents of bringing a deformer here on base. But without the means of disposing it or recycling of it properly in accordance with the federal, state, and Air Force regulations, it wouldn't have been feasible to do so. So over years, a couple of years, I worked with munitions to basically start an innovative process to add recycling of the deformed brass to our integrated solid waste management contract. And ever since then, in 2020, it has been working out fantastic.
What started as a small idea within the munitions team has now become a sustainable, regulation-compliant initiative. By 2020, the recycling operation was fully integrated and has since proven its value to the base. In just 2 shipments per year, this program generates around $30,000, money that directly supports the base. It's a closed-loop system where waste turns into funding, and every spent round becomes a resource. This recycling program isn't just about budget efficiency. More than that, it stands as tangible proof that the military is capable of deep innovation, while upholding strict safety standards and a strong commitment to environmental sustainability. Amid the complexity of military operations, they've managed to implement a solution that's not only logistically sound, but also ecologically responsible. In a world where environmental concerns are becoming increasingly urgent, the U.S. military is demonstrating that even a massive and high-tempo organization can take active steps to protect the planet. Ammunition waste, once seen as a useless byproduct, is now transformed into a valuable asset. Every spent cartridge processed is not just leftover from training or combat. It represents a shift in mindset, from disposable use to a more sustainable approach. On a large scale, spent ammunition can pose a serious environmental hazard. If mishandled, the metal remnants from thousands of rounds can pollute soil, create health risks, and overwhelm waste management systems. But with this structured process, thousands of pounds of metal, brass, steel, and various alloys are no longer discarded. Instead, they're reintroduced into the industrial cycle as useful raw materials. And the benefits don't stop at environmental impact. One of the core strengths of this program lies in its ability to generate real economic value for military units. The revenue from recycling is reinvested to bolster combat readiness, whether through updated training tools, facility maintenance, or personnel development. It's a dual sustainability loop, one for the environment and one for military strength. Even more importantly, this initiative reflects a cultural shift within the military itself. From an institution often associated with high resource consumption, the military is evolving into a force that embraces efficiency and long-term responsibility. It also encourages service members to take greater care in every aspect of their work, even in what used to be seen as mere waste. Behind the roar of the deformer and the piles of spent brass, there's a story of dedication, precision, and forward-thinking vision. A story of servicemen and technicians working behind the scenes, turning a simple process into a strategic contribution. It's a reflection of how the modern military is not just built to fight, but to adapt, endure, and actively contribute to a more sustainable and responsible future. Behind every round fired in training or combat lies a responsibility that must not be overlooked. This recycling program reminds us that true military strength is not only measured by firepower or manpower, but by the wisdom in managing its own resources. This initiative goes beyond logistics or financial returns. It's about systemic integrity, environmental awareness, and a long-term commitment to sustainability. From spent cartridges to reprocessed metals reintegrated into industry, it all becomes part of a cycle that strengthens defense, without sacrificing the future. The modern military continues to evolve, and within that evolution are small steps that create lasting impact. Cartridge recycling may seem like a simple process, but it teaches us that even the smallest parts can contribute to something far greater.